Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Gabrielle and I'm a tax manager at one of the big four accounting firms. And here on my channel, I like to talk about topics related to personal finance, career, and work-life balance. And today I have a very special topic for you guys, and that is specifically on how to pursue your CPA and some strategy on maintaining work and study, on motivation, as well as some added study tips at the very end. If you guys like watching these sort of videos, make sure to hit that subscribe button down below, as well as hit that like button because that would really help me out. Just to give you guys a little bit of background, I first studied for the CPA around 6 or 7 years ago when I first joined the firm, and it took me around 2 years to study while work to finally get my CPA. Looking back, it was definitely not easy, but at the same time, it is not impossible and it is definitely manageable. And so today I decided to kind of dig into my memories and think about all the tips that I have for you guys, as well as some things I learned along the way that could really help you guys in terms of pursuing your CPA, as well as those who are considering on pursuing your CPA. So let's get started. My very first tip is on managing both work and study. Just to give you guys the structure of the CPA program here in Canada, it is around a 2-year program where the first couple of months is spent on the PEP program, which is the Professional Education Program. And it's a set of 6 modules, each module being around 2 months long. And it is designed to help you prep for the CV, or what is called the Common Final Exam, or even called as the CPA exam. The PEP program consists of 6 modules, where the first 4 modules are exam-based, which means that there is an exam that's around 3 hours long at the end of each 2-month program. And so the first 2 modules are more mandatory topics such as financial and managerial accounting. The other 2 modules are electives, so you could choose from a couple of topics you could choose to study from, such as audit, finance, and tax, which is something that I studied. And then the last 2 modules are more teamwork based, which kind of help you develop your soft skills such as leadership and professional skills. Usually it takes around 1.5 years to finish all 6 modules, because you might have a couple months break in between modules due to busy season or any other reasons that you have at work. And then now you're finally ready to write the CV. I know that all of this may sound really confusing, but if you are going to be joining a public practice firm, they usually have a really good program in place, because many students have gone through this program while they are working at the firm. So you'll be receiving a lot of guidance at the firm that you'll be working in. Or if you just want to get a head start, feel free to go into the CPA website, and then usually they do a really good job of outlining all the different steps involved and all the dates that you need to consider. Now that you have a bit of idea on what is involved with the CPA program, keep in mind that you will be doing this on your spare time while you are balancing a full work schedule. And your spare time being anytime after work to your weekends. But the good news is that there is definitely synergy while you work and you study at the same time, because while you are learning new concepts, you might come across them while you're working, and applying them in the real world will really solidify your understanding of these concepts. And so it is really interesting and it's really exciting when you finally get it. I'm going to tell you that it's definitely not easy, but it is definitely manageable with the following tips that I'll be addressing later on in this video. But just remember that, as much as it's not easy, it is definitely a testament to how strong you are when you are able to make through it and you finally pass the CPA. And it's a testament to something that you've been able to accomplish through hard work. The second tip that I have for you guys is time management. It goes without saying that time management is going to be absolutely crucial when you are balancing 2 big priorities in your life, which is going to be work and study. And so my very first advice for you guys is to sit down with yourself with your calendar in hand and take the time to really plan out what your next few months to even your year is going to look like. You could start doing this when you get your course syllabus in hand, and you could start jotting down all the important dates, such as when your assignments are due and when your exams are due, when the next module registration date is. And then once you get an idea of when all those dates are, you could start working backwards and planning ahead. Then you could start planning out your schedule on a weekly basis in terms of how much you need to get done in order to complete that assignment, or how much you need to study in order to prepare for the exam, so that it is a manageable schedule and that you don't end up burning yourself out when you are procrastinating and you need to do everything at the last minute. Just to give you guys an example, if you guys have an assignment due in 2 weeks time, then you could start working backwards, starting from this week, where you're going to dedicate, 3 days out of the week, where on Tuesday you could start researching, on Wednesday you could start writing a draft or outline, and then on Saturday you kind of take the whole day to start writing the meat of your assignment. And then the following week, you're going to have a much easier load because now you're just left with, a day on cleaning up the assignment and then another day just proofreading. And now you have a lot more breathing room in terms of, managing both your work and getting your assignment done on time. And this is a lot more manageable than if you were to, push everything to the last minute and then just dedicating the weekend before the assignment is due and just telling yourself that you're going to get everything done in a 10-hour period. Because, let's face it, you're going to be extremely stressed out that day. And also that time that you spent on doing the assignment is going to be very rushed, and you will also not be able to put out your best work. My main tip on managing both work and study is to create a habit where you're making progress every single day on whether it's on your assignment or studying for that exam, because chipping away at something every single day could really add up to a significant amount of time versus, pushing everything to a few days where you're pressuring yourself to get everything done, which is a lot more stressful than, if you have made progress over the past couple of days. My third tip for you guys is on maintaining your motivation. So there are definitely going to be times where your motivation falters and you just feel so sick and tired of juggling all these commitments and you just kind of feel like giving up and you don't want to move on anymore. Feeling this way is completely normal, but just remember that you put yourself in this position and you had made the decision to make this investment on yourself. And you knew that, the CPA designation is prestigious and it's not supposed to be easy, or else everyone would be doing it. If your future in your career is not enough motivation for you to get through the next few years while you complete this CPA program, I don't really know what else to tell you other than rethink what your priorities in life are and if this is something that you really want. The fourth tip that I have for you guys is on studying. Like I mentioned before, the 6 modules in the PEP program are designed to help you prepare for the CPA exam. That being said, it has been a few months since you first studied your very first module, and you most likely need a refresher on those concepts before you start officially studying for the CPA exam. After you do an initial review of all the knowledge that is required to be known for the exam, the next step is to jump into practice exams. And I cannot stress to you guys enough how important practice exams are, because basically they give you a really good idea of what the CPA exam is going to be like. It's important to take these practice exams seriously and to really try to emulate what the test setting is going to be like. So for example, if an exam is 4 to 5 hours long with only 1 break in between, make sure that every time you do your practice exam to copy that test setting so that you are well prepared for the actual exam. The most important step in the studying process is probably debriefing. There is no point in doing a 4 to 5 hour practice exam if you're not going to debrief at the very end and at least know what you did well and know what areas you need to improve on. I'm not going to lie, the first few times you do your practice exam and while you're debriefing, you're going to feel really disheartened because you probably didn't do so well. But just keep in mind that is totally fine and that is normal, and that you will definitely improve over time if you are diligent and you keep to your schedule and you do these practice exams. Personally for me, I was fortunate enough to have been given around 2 months off right before the CPA exam to really focus on studying. I actually had a study buddy who I studied with every single day for those 2 months during the weekdays. I made sure that I treated it like a regular job where from Monday to Friday, I would go to the library from 9, write my practice exams, and then debrief. Sometimes when I felt like I was falling behind, I would spend a weekend or 2 just to catch up a little bit, but I made sure that I didn't do that too often in order to avoid feeling burnt out, which I will be addressing in my next tip. So my last and final tip, my 5th tip, is on maintaining your mental health. I feel that mental health is often overlooked, which was definitely the case for me in my early 20s when I thought I was a machine and I could just take on everything and push myself to be as productive as possible. This might work for a few weeks, but after a while, you're definitely going to feel the effects of burnout. And when this stage hits, you're just going to be so unhappy, you're so stressed, you actually feel so demotivated that you don't feel like doing anything. And the main point of maintaining your mental health is to avoid this stage and to take care of yourself during the process. Remember that a life is a marathon and not a sprint, and to create a schedule that is both realistic and reasonable. It's extremely important to be carving out time for yourself, whether that is spending time with your loved ones, like your family and friends, or taking the time to work on your physical health, like working out and going for walks to clear your head, even spending time on hobbies that you really love, or even just reading that book that you've been putting off. And it is highly recommended for you to spend your weekends taking the time to take care of yourself rather than pushing yourself to study for the CPA exam. Because at the end of the day, the CPA exam is a mental game, and you want to be in your best physical and mental state in order to write this 4 or 5 hour, 3-day back-to-back exam. And the last thing that you want to experience is a mental breakdown on your second or third day and not be able to perform your best, which you have been preparing so hard for the past 2 years. So instead of pushing yourself, just take a step back and remember that maintaining a healthy balance between work, study, and your personal life is going to be what really help you get to that finish line of passing the CPA. So those were my 5 tips on how to pass a CPA exam while you're maintaining work and study, as well as maintain your motivation, and as well as some study tips at the very end. I hope that you enjoyed my video on 5 tips on how to pass a CPA, and if it was helpful for you guys, please hit that like button down below, as well as subscribe for more videos like this. If you have any questions about what I talked about today, feel free to leave them in the comment section down below. Let me know if you're also a CPA student, or if you're thinking about pursuing your CPA, and if you are, what are your main concerns nowadays? Thanks so much for watching today, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye!